Okay. Gordon. Gordon. Gordon.
Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Corona Spotlight 2020. We've got quite an interesting surprise for you today. I am so excited about how everything has panned out. Unfortunately, my guest that I was all prepared to have for you today, Tamara Collins, is not able to be with us. So I was able to thank the internet gods to connect with somebody else that I want to show you what they're up to and get your kids engaged in a contest that they're having this week. So let me introduce you to Miss Reparata, author of Save the Males Cookbook, former member of Lady Flash, Barry's old backup group. For those of you who know what a big Manilow fan that I am, this is a huge honor for me. Thank you so much for joining me, Reparata. How are you
Well, we
today?
like to say former, not old.
Yes, former. Definitely. So thank you for joining me today. I am really, really excited to hear a little bit more about what you're up to. We've been just chatting here for the last 20 minutes or so about this Save the Males cookbook, which I love the idea of. So, why don't we start with you telling me a little bit about how you and Chef Gordon created this, decided to, what was behind it, and what is contained in it.
Okay, well, I met Chef Gordon about 15 years ago. He's also my life partner now. um, so I got two things out of it, a cookbook and a partner. Um, his idea was originally, men are very underserved and I need to do something for them. And I said, well, that's really not true. So let's make this cookbook for people that don't know how to cook and we'll aim it at men, but it would be great for women because they might want to give the book to some helpless guy who can't cook or their kids going off to college or their husband who's been left when they're on a business trip. So we really aimed it. It's funny, it's aimed at men, but it's really for anyone who wants to know how to cook. It's basically, if you have an empty kitchen, this book will tell you how to go in there, what to buy, what pans, knives, what spices you need to buy, because that's something people don't know. Well, what should I have? Should I have just salt and pepper? What else should I put? So we have a section that says must have and good to have. So that's, and then also for the
Nice.
men, because I thought they were pretty clueless, we put in a whole page of pictures of cooking instruments. Excuse me. A whole page of cooking instruments. Um,
Uh-huh.
like what's a whisk? I used to do a contest with my male friends, and I'd go, "Okay, here, what is this?" And they wouldn't know what it was. Of course, Gordon knew he wasn't disqualified. So that was the basic idea. And, it came about for him. Cooking came about for him. He used to watch Galloping Gourmet with his mom, and he was interested in food, but he was really a jock. He wasn't, like a sissy cook. So when he went off after divorce to college, he roomed with three guys who did not know anything about cooking, and all they did was eat fast food. And he realized that his health was going down the tubes. So his idea was to start cooking, and he says it improved his health, his looks, everything. And then he got a job in a restaurant, and then his mentor, who we're still very good friends with, taught him everything. And in the book, the introduction is, how he peeled hundreds of pounds of shrimp, and he worked his way up, and then he ended up working for Deepak Chopra in spa cuisine, consulting for them. So
Really?
he's a very accomplished chef, but he's not like I always say, you're not a hi hat chef. You're a bootstrap chef.
Oh, I
You know,
love that.
yeah, you're not going to walk around the kitchen ordering people. Well, he will, but not in a way that Gordon Ramsay. So that's the background of the book, and eventually we would like to make this a global movement for everyone to start cooking for their health. And
Now,
so,
I want to
go ahead.
interrupt you just for a second there
Go ahead.
because, in today's world, we might like look at what you're talking about as, oh my gosh, that's so, like sexist, genderist, or whatever. But this is reality for a lot of women that are in our age range. Like growing up, I used to tell my foster brother, you will never find a woman who will take care of you the way that your mother will. So you better learn how to cook. You'd better learn how to cook. And he defied me, and I'll be darned, he found a woman who takes care of him like his mother does. Now, not many men are going to be that lucky, so the rest of you need to have this cookbook to give you the
And
basics and give you something to cook. Go ahead. Sorry.
I just met someone actually who said his wife doesn't cook and she's Mexican. And I said, that's a crime. So I don't know where she grew up. She must have grown up in a palace. But yes, and it's important to, this is a great thing you can do with kids right now while you're locked,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to locked down, where you're staying at home with them. They may be driving you crazy. And there's a chapter in the book about help. I'm home alone with the kids. And it gives you really step-by-step things of how to teach them about food. And also there's a big thing about safety, kitchen safety, which, you don't realize you need to teach them that too.
Mm-hmm.
Even little kids can stir a batter, and there's a lot of simple recipes in there, but it's a great bonding experience with your kids. Also,
Yeah.
cooking, Gordon believes cooking is something that you can feel successful doing because here you are, you've got a recipe, you can follow the recipe, and you have something at the end and you serve it to your family. That's a success. You
Yes.
know, there's so many places in life where we don't feel successful, but cooking is great. So
Yes, absolutely. And I want to highlight right now in this little spot right here that you guys have a contest going, which would actually be a really great idea for a lot of us that are home right now, locked in with our kids. The kids need more and more stuff to keep them occupied. You know, there's only so many movies on Netflix. There's so many times you can do the same level on a game. Connect with your kids and this contest is, I think it's absolutely adorable. So, will you
yeah,
tell us about it?
well, I manage the Facebook page, and every year Gordon's sister-in-law and her daughters had a bunny cake contest. And so last year we gave the bunny cake recipe, and we gave Heather is the one that's on there now. But I just sent to Diane Smith. Here's her bunny cake. Okay, she just sent me that. And but it's really not hard to do. And in this post today, I gave some simple baking rules for beginners because a lot of people say, I don't want to follow that recipe, but cooking basically, especially baking, is chemistry. So it's important to follow the recipes.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 10 tips there right now in case you're afraid to bake, because frankly, I'm not a great baker. I'm a great Italian cook. I know how to cook things, but I'm not a chef, just a good home cook. But baking is not my specialty. I'm always afraid to bake. So, but this is something that the family can do, and then they decorate it. We're looking for interesting, creative ways to decorate. That was one of them, and she just sent me another one today because I said, "Send me yours because you're the one. You're the inspiration." This is another cake she did. This is another bunny cake, which is
Mm-hmm.
really cute.
Oh my
So
gosh, it's adorable.
right? So there's different ways to make the bunny cake fun. Somebody did a bunny cake made out of cupcakes, or you can do cupcakes. We're not limiting it to cakes. So, but what they do is they make the cake and then they post it on the Facebook page. And then Heather, who was the originator of the original cake on there, she and I and Gordon will judge, and the winner will get a cookbook. So it's fun. I'm not a great Facebook marketer. We just do this as a service to people. Save the Mail's cookbook page because we have a lot of great stuff on there. I mean, in the beginning we did immunity recipes, but now I wanted to do something fun. We need to have fun after 3 weeks
Right.
of the house. So
Well, and I know that the immunity recipes are definitely useful, but it really does, like we were talking about before, it really does feel like we're just being bombarded with, all kinds of stuff right now, which can be helpful. It's just, I think people are also getting to the immunity stuff I should have had in place before this happened, right? It does
yeah,
take some time, doesn't it, for your
well,
health to bounce back
yeah,
with
and I
eating?
take a lot of immune vitamins like astragalus and vitamin C is good, vitamin D, but it does take time to get your immune system built up. But what we did first was we listed the top 10 foods like broccoli, garlic, citrus that have immune. Of course, you have to eat so much of it. No,
Mm-hmm.
but it's good to have it. But then I said, that's enough of that. And every Tuesday we're going to give a tip, like a tip how to buy a knife, different tips. And then we'll do on another day, we'll do what Gordon recommends for websites. Like my website, we didn't have a bibliography in the book.
Mm-hmm.
I created a webliography.
Oh, I like it.
This is not a cookbook with a bunch of recipes and pretty pictures. This is a practical book for people that to learn to cook, or even if you do cook, this is a great refresher course. So one of the two of the things I like recipes where you can adjust the amounts. Like my favorite one thing to do is when I want a recipe and I want it fast, I put quick or easy in front of it.
Nice.
Okay. And then you don't get a bunch of 20 ingredients. And all recipes is one that I like because you can adjust the serving size and it automatically adjusts the portions.
Right.
Because I'm dreadful at math. I couldn't tell you like 1.5 cups how much half of that would be. I don't, because I can figure it out with our magnet, but
Which reminds me, did you mention that magnet yet? Because I think this is the
oh,
handiest idea I've seen in months.
okay, so how this evolved was I was constantly going to the internet or cookbooks to look for charts about how to have equivalencies for things like what is a cup, how many tablespoons are in a cup, right? And then how many fluid ounces is that? So I went ahead and in the book put this equivalency magnet in here, which gives you everything. Is it backwards? I don't
That's
know.
brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, it's available for sale on the internet, but anybody who enters the contest, whether they win or not, is going to get one of these. And
Fabulous.
yeah, they'll all get one just for entering. And then the book, the runner up will get a book. We do have a Kindle version if they only want a Kindle version because we just tried to order something on Amazon and it's not being delivered till May.
Oh
So
my.
it's better to for us to give you a Kindle book if you have a Kindle version.
Absolutely.
So that
Absolutely.
was that evolved also when I was at Gordon's brother's house and he only had measuring spoons. I didn't know what to do, so that's how this thing
Now,
necessity is the mother of invention.
right. And it must
So
have been for baking because I hear that you're a pretty talented Italian cook, and doesn't that go measure by handfuls?
well, it's funny. I do have recipes, family recipes in the book from me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't give anybody my meatball recipe, but if you look at the meat sauce recipe, you can pretty much figure it out. Um, yeah, we go by a lot of taste. My mother actually. Here's something also interesting. A lot of chefs say that you can tell when something is done by how it smells. Like you can tell when the cake is baking when it starts to smell. You should look at it to
Mm-hmm.
see if it's getting done. But my mother used to make the meatball. Um, the meat and with the garlic and everything. And then
Mm-hmm.
she would hand it to me and she'd say, "This is how it's supposed to smell." And I still do that. That way I know I have
Wow.
garlic or I have enough Romano cheese in it. Now you can't you can't put smell in a cookbook. So I did the best thing I could to
Mm-hmm.
get that. You still have to go to taste. If there's a recipe and you don't like something, like I don't like celery seed. If it says it has celery seed in it, I just don't put it in. You
Mm-hmm.
know. So once you get cooking and you know what you like, you can do things like they always say salt and pepper to taste. So
Right. Right.
but I do make legendary meatballs. My friends want me to open up a store meatballs only. I say,
Ooh, that sounds
actually, there
very
was
interesting.
There was one in New York like that, but no, you have to come to my house to eat my meatballs. So nobody
I
gets
can't
it.
remember what restaurant it was at, but my family and I went once, and you order the meatball, and it's like normally you expect, like that, three of them with your spaghetti. No, it was a meatball this big, so
I
good,
know.
but oh
That,
my gosh.
there's a restaurant that's famous in New York, and they have one here called Wow's, and they have a sauce. And I went there for a friend's birthday, and they had a meatball like that. I don't like that myself.
Hmm.
I don't think that's the way meatballs should be served. But
It was definitely something to like. It was a conversation piece, that's for sure.
Now, where are you located? Are you in
I'm
LA?
located in Phoenix. I drive up to Vegas every chance that I get. Of course, not now, considering the entire strip is shut down. But I do try to get up there as often as I can. But I'm in the western suburbs of Phoenix, so we call it East California from
Yeah.
Scottsdale. And yeah, it's actually it's beautiful here. It's the perfect time of year. The weather is gorgeous. The sun is shining. The birds are chirping. The people are on the golf course behind my house. Trying to keep 6 feet between them. That type of
Do
thing.
you, do you cook? What do you cook? What's
I
your ethnic?
bake.
Oh,
I
you bake.
bake. I
You
bake.
you should do
Yes,
a
I
cake
do.
thing. Enter our contest.
Yes, absolutely, I should. And I want to get my daughter and my 4-year-old grandson involved in that because he's doing cooking videos right now. They were down here for a visit just before travel closed down. Like, literally, they had planned to come down for the weekend. They went to get on the plane, and my son-in-law, who's a Marine, got a phone call as they were checking in, and he couldn't get on the plane because he was military, and military couldn't leave the state that they were in. I mean, if they had just waited 2 hours, I would have had the weekend with my son-in-law. Didn't go that way. So
Well,
my
what is your?
daughter, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, what is your ethnicity? Because the next thing we want to do, I think I want to start a blog and
Hmm.
have people give their traditional ethnic recipes because a lot of those will disappear. You know,
Yes, agreed.
and that would be the next fun thing to do.
For me personally, I'm what my mother called a Heinz 57. If I was any more white, I'd be translucent. I'm English, Welsh, French, Irish, German, all of the very, very white, ethnicities. So I do a mean apple pie. I do amazing chocolate chip cookies. But I wouldn't necessarily like fall back on any of my ethnically British food. Or although I love corned beef and cabbage, absolutely love it.
Isn't that Irish?
Yes, that's Irish. I'm trying to think of some of the. I love sauerkraut and I love hot potato salad, but I don't make either one of those, and those are German.
Yeah, I lived in England for a while, and they are much better now. But when I lived there, they weren't like culinary hotspots. But I love Scotch eggs,
Oh,
which I
really? What's in? How do you make Scotch eggs?
I don't really know. They had a restaurant here in LA called Cat and the Fiddle that used to make them.
Mm.
And then the other thing, of course, we used to eat was bangers and mash. I lived with an English girl, and also dated a lot of English guys, and so I got some of those recipes, but they're not really recipes, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
That was when Reparata and the Delrons had a hit record in England, and we went over there, and I lived there for a while. I
Oh,
love
that
England.
must have been exciting time.
It
You want to
was a
tell me about that?
very exciting time, and it was in the old days. We had a hit record, and we were just a girl group from Brooklyn, and they said, "Oh, girls, you have a record coming in England, and it's bubbling under." And we go, "Oh, England, okay, but you're going to go on tour in England, London." We go, "Well, can't we go to Italy? Because London's raining all the time." We were so silly. We didn't know anything. It was my first time on an airplane. We didn't know anything. We were just a girl. We had a hit record, but we were still doing shows, rehearsing in our basement in Brooklyn. And so then after the tour, then I went to live there for a year and did a lot of backup singing for famous English groups like I did Petula Clark, I did Cliff Richard,
No
you know.
kidding.
But then I got deported.
Oh, do tell.
Well, they would not renew my visa. They said, "Well, you don't have an extraordinary talent." They said, "Well, we have this group that we're doing that all has all lead singers from other groups." And when I went into the visa place, Reparata and Delron's picture was hanging on the thing. I said, "Well, you can't replace me," but I still went home because my friend was getting married, so it was time. And then I took a master's in television production, and I had a television career, and that's where I met Barry Manilow.
Oh,
And
wow.
that was history. So that was fun.
And the rest is history.
Yeah.
Yes. That's, you know what? I got to tell you. Thank you very much for that um time in your life where you were part of that. Because myself, I got comfortable with speaking to imagined large groups by singing along to the live album over
Oh,
and over
beautiful. Come on,
and
that out.
so I guess you're maybe 1/10% to blame for what I'm doing now.
Well, I
Or
still have some Barry Manilow costumes in my closet over here.
oh
Um,
my goodness.
I have my poodle skirt um, and some of the fancy dresses. Like there's a white dress on that album I have, and
I
I
remember
can,
that. I remember
yeah. I
that
mean,
dress.
the thing about singing with Barry at that time that was so interesting is that he wasn't known then. He was Bette Midler's piano player.
Hmm.
And when I first started with him, he said to me, we only have four cities and we're going to close at Carnegie Hall. I said, well, that's enough reason to leave my producing job at CBS.
Right?
So after, we were on the road and that club tour was not really great. We used to have this rule. We would do two sets and Barry would say, if there's more people on stage than there are in the audience, we're not going to do the show. So but wherever we went, we did Philadelphia, Boston, which was bad, but Philadelphia, Memphis, and Nashville, they were like insane over him already. And
Really?
yeah, they must have known him he used to do a set in the middle of Bet's set.
Hmm.
And um, the interesting thing is he got signed by Arista because he opened for Dionne Warwick in Central Park. That was like when he was starting out. And Clive Davis was in the audience. And after Barry sang, a whole bunch of people left. They were only there to see him. And so I think
Wow.
Clive, in his wisdom, said, there's something to this guy. So there's a lot of history that I know, 'cause I watched Barry go from zero to superstar. By the end of 5 or 6 years, he was huge,
Yeah.
you know, and had a string of hits. But the first tour, Mandy was going on the charts and went up the charts, and so we just kept going. The more hits we had, he just kept rehiring us back and back. So, and he's a great guy and a good friend, and I love him. We're both from Brooklyn, so we're like soulmates.
Right.
So, and
Absolutely.
he's a wonderful person and generous, a great guy.
That's
Everything
wonderful.
you want to think that he is, he is.
That's wonderful to hear. That is really wonderful to hear. So do you ever think that you might, I don't know, pull those costumes out and donate them to charity for a fundraiser or anything like that, or even just put them on and practice singing in the basement ever again?
Oh well, I can't fit into them anymore. When I
I
look at
wasn't
them,
going to say that.
I actually wonder who was this person that fit into these guys. I mean, I've decided to accept myself as I am now, a little older. But no, I think I don't know if Lady Flash is famous enough, but I could donate it to the Costume Institute. And yeah, if there was a fundraiser, I would be happy to donate some costumes.
That's good to know. Good to know.
Yeah,
I do know that Lady Flash is still selling albums. A friend of mine bought one last week.
really.
Yeah, true
That was
story.
Where did she buy it?
I think she got it off of eBay or
Oh,
Amazon, one or the other. I'm not sure.
must have been. Was it a vinyl? Because I don't think we never released a cassette of that.
Yep, no, I think it was vinyl. I think it was the full 12-inch album. And she was so excited. So, absolutely so excited to have it. Yes.
That was a great album. Barry produced that album,
Barry
and
did?
yeah, and Ron Dante. And he wrote the song that I sang, which I really don't like anymore because it's kind of a weird song, but he sang backup for me on that song.
Well, see, that's worth the price of the album right there.
Well, if you listen to the end, when I'm singing Lying in the Eyes and Arms of Mary, he goes, "Oh, Mary." That's him.
Ah, okay, good. I'll have to keep my ears peeled for that one.
Yeah, and Monica and Deborah they're on Facebook still, and
Hmm.
they're both very good friends of mine. Deborah Bird now she was the vocal coach of American Idol for 11 years, now does the voice, but she's also the vocal chair of the Musicians Institute in Los Angeles.
That I didn't know. I knew about American Idol. I was very, very happy with the work that she did on American Idol with those kids. It just absolutely amazing. I haven't watched The Voice myself. I'm sure the quality has not changed as far as what Deborah does. But I didn't know that she was also that chair.
She's a
That's
vocal chair of the Musicians Institute, which is a very great music school for people that want to be in the pop music business. You can get a degree there, but they teach things like guitar, they teach specific instruments, you get vocal training, and a lot of the rock groups that are looking for to replace backup singers, musicians, they go to the Musicians Institute to get them because a lot of those kids are virtuosos on their instruments, but they didn't want to go to Berkeley and get a full 4 year. They do teach you they teach you music theory, they teach you how to read and write music, they teach you everything, but it's all oriented to pop music.
okay.
Which,
So
my friend,
it's kind of a vocational training center for musicians.
that's
Then wouldn't you
exactly,
say?
yeah, that's what it is. And Deborah is awesome as the vocal chair. She will tell you
Nice.
the truth about your singing
And nicely, and very nicely.
very nicely. Fantastic. So,
Fabulous. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I want to kind of recap a little bit. We have the Save the Males cookbook at savethemales.com. It can be purchased there directly. Do you also have it listed on Amazon? And
yes,
people
it's
can
on
just,
Amazon.
okay, so
On the
they can
Save the
also,
Mail, yeah, you can get it on Amazon. You have to go Save the Mails Cookbook, Chef Gordon Smith, because there is a Save the Mails book that was written by some psychologist, but
oh, gotcha.
Chef
Okay.
Gordon Smith. And then there's a Shop Now button on our
Mm-hmm.
site, and it's also available on Kindle,
Okay.
uh, which is great. I use the Kindle now, uh, even as a writer. It's
I'm looking forward to getting
Gordon.
my Kindle version. Gordon, would he like to pop in and show
Gordon.
us his no shave quarantine?
Yeah, he's going to come in. He's on the phone, which
Okay.
is what we do most of the day or Zoom people. And you'll
Awesome.
see his quarantine beard. He doesn't look like that on the cooking videos. Oh, what? There you go. This is Chef Gordon Smith. Hello.
Hey, how
Where
you doing, Chef? How are you?
I'm doing all right. Just kind of hunkered down, Just can't go play with my grandkids, and I can't go play. Can't watch basketball. That really hurts.
I'll bet. I'll bet. My
Big
honey has been
basketball.
watching replays of like the World Series 2001 kind of thing.
that's what
Yeah,
he's doing.
that sports withdrawal is a real thing.
Yeah, it's a true thing to a lot of us, and that's crazy. And just things that I miss. We do have the LA Arboretum, and we go there and walk around because it's still open.
Nice.
It's a
Absolutely.
beautiful little nice walk. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much for joining us. We're just having our listeners get kind of pointing out to them that they can go to the SaveTheMailsCookbook.com and either shop now through that site.
Just
Oh,
SaveTheMails.com is the
oh,
website.
thank you.
But on Amazon,
SaveTheMails.com.
but you can
Awesome.
buy the book. There's a Shop Now button if you want it. And it
Okay,
goes with
excellent.
Amazon.
And then also, I want all of my listeners to get involved with this bunny cake contest.
Yes.
Definitely. So there's a button at the top of that website where you can, get more information about the bunny cake contest. This is the perfect thing to occupy your little kids while they're not in school.
Definitely.
You know?
Definitely.
Well, Gordon's son is a chef as well. He went to the High Hat Culinary School. He's cooking with his kids now. The two, how old are they?
They're
10?
6 and 10. They'll be 7 and 10.
That's a
7 and
perfect
10.
age.
Their birthdays next. Let's see,
April.
mid-April. Both of them are just 2 days apart, and that's hard. I don't get to go play birthday with them, but well, I just got off the phone with the older one, the 10-year-old, and we were just walking around, and he was
You're
goofing off.
FaceTiming. At least you get to see him.
FaceTiming.
Like
Yeah.
like Reparata and I were talking about earlier, I'm so grateful to be blessed with the technology that we can at least connect visually, if not give each other a hug,
Right.
across the board. I mean, it's just a matter of finding what there is to be grateful for because
Yeah,
the rest of the
daughter-in-law
situation is
says-
awful.
My daughter-in-law says that she wants us to do it a little more one-on-one because when the two of them get together, they get pretty squirrely.
Gotcha. Now, do you
So
guys play Uno at all?
No, we don't. No, I don't.
No, was there a game?
There's a
No, the
game,
game,
you
the
know, the
card
game
game.
Uno. Yeah. Well, if you have a deck and they have a deck, you can get on a Zoom meeting like this and you can play Uno together as a family.
They play Uno, actually. I'll ask them. That's a good idea. Oh, I love playing games with them.
You know,
Awesome.
it's funny. The older one is a Harry Potter fan, so for Christmas I got him a Harry Potter cookbook to do all the recipes from Harry Potter.
Nice. Very nice. Gosh, I hope that doesn't create anything like green and smoky and
No, it's really safe. They say it's the unofficial one, so it's the real one. But Gail, we expect to see your bunny cake.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I will definitely submit a bunny cake myself. And thank you again, both of you. I do need to sign off now, but I so appreciate you joining me today at the spur of the moment. Thank you
No problem.
again. And I'm going to upload this and send you the link so you can link this out to whoever else that you would like to see it as well.
Oh,
Okay?
thank you
Okay,
so
thank
much.
you.
Lovely
Bye-bye.
meeting you.
You too.
Thank,
Take
bye.
care. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, now let's see.